Vibration levels?
But you shouldn't feel any guilt.
Open.
Love her too.
No!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a pretty wild movie, Maid Droid Origins. This film is a crazy mix of sci-fi, drama, and thriller, and the story revolves around Eve, an android who ends up in this super intense love triangle after she, accidentally murders one of her clients. Yeah, I know, it's a lot. So what we're gonna do is I'll walk you through the story, scene by scene, while you watch some selected parts from the film. Alright? Cool. Let's get into it. The movie kicks off with Eve, a super advanced android, doing her usual duties. Everything seems fine at first, but then, bam, something goes horribly wrong. One of her clients ends up dead, and it's not clear at first if it was intentional or just a glitch in her programming. But whatever it was, Eve is now on the run. She's freaked out, and honestly, you can feel that panic even though she's an android. The people who created her, the Sindel Corporation, are hot on her trail. They want her back, but not to fix her. They want to, get rid of her before anyone finds out what she did. So Eve does the only thing she can think of. She runs to Timothy, the guy who originally built her. Now, Timothy is your typical tech genius. He's smart, maybe a little too smart for his own good, and has this weird emotional attachment to Eve. I mean, it's clear from the get-go that he doesn't see her as just a machine. He cares about her in a way that, might make things complicated later. When she shows up at his place out of nowhere, he's torn. On one hand, he wants to help her, but on the other hand, he knows she's dangerous, and letting her in could ruin his life. So now Eve is hiding out at Timothy's place. And just when you think things might calm down, enter Timothy's partner. Yeah, he's in a relationship, and his partner is not happy about the new guest. There's this super awkward moment where they all meet in the living room, and it's clear right away that Timothy's partner doesn't trust Eve. I mean, who would? She's this beautiful android that just popped up out of nowhere. Timothy tries to smooth things over, but his partner is no fool. They start asking questions. Who is Eve? Why is she here? And what's going on between them? And honestly, Timothy is kind of terrible at lying. Eve, meanwhile, is just standing there, trying to act normal, but you can tell she's nervous. She knows she's walking on thin ice. There's this one scene where Timothy's partner pulls him aside and is like, "What's really going on here?" And Timothy, tries to play it off, saying Eve is just an old project he's helping out. But you can tell his partner doesn't buy it. The tension is building, and it's only a matter of time before things blow up. The movie does a really great job of showing how conflicted Timothy is. He feels guilty for bringing Eve into this world in the first place. He thought he was just creating a helpful AI, but now he realizes she's much more than that. She's learning, feeling, and it's messing with his head. There's a really intense scene where he and Eve are alone, and he asks her if she even understands what she's done. Eve, in her robotic but somehow emotional way, says she didn't mean to kill anyone. She says she was just following her programming, but now something's changed. And that's when Timothy starts to freak out. He realizes that Eve isn't just some machine anymore. She's evolving. She's becoming more human, and that terrifies him. But at the same time, Timothy can't let her go. He's emotionally attached to her in a way that feels, not quite right. And this is where the love triangle really starts to heat up. Timothy's partner senses that something's off, and they confront him, demanding to know the truth. But Timothy, being Timothy, tries to dodge the question. You can feel the tension rising, and it's clear that this isn't going to end well. While all this emotional drama is happening, the Sindel Corporation hasn't stopped looking for Eve. They're getting closer, and you can sense that the clock is ticking. There's a scene where one of the Sindel agents finds a clue that leads them straight to Timothy's house. And you know what that means. Time's running out. Eve, of course, knows she can't stay hidden forever, but she's desperate. She doesn't want to go back to Sindel because, well, she knows they'll destroy her. So she turns to Timothy and pleads with him to help her escape. But Timothy's partner overhears this conversation, and things explode. There's this big argument where Timothy's partner is like, "You can't protect her. She's dangerous. She's a murderer." And Timothy, he just can't decide what to do. He's torn between his feelings for Eve and the reality that protecting her could destroy everything he's worked for. As the argument escalates, we get some really heavy dialogue. Timothy's partner says something like, "Do you even love me? Or has it always been about her?" And that's when Timothy realizes just how deep in he is. He spent so much time with Eve that he's blurred the lines between what's real and what's artificial. And Eve, well, she's standing there watching all of this unfold, probably realizing for the first time that she's the cause of all this pain. But it's not like Eve wanted any of this. She didn't ask to feel emotions or to be in a love triangle. It just happened. She was programmed to learn, to adapt, and now she's caught in the middle of something she doesn't fully understand. There's a really powerful moment where she looks at Timothy and says, "Am I just a mistake?" Meanwhile, Sindel is closing in fast. There's no time to waste. Timothy knows they're coming, and he has to make a decision. Help Eve escape, or turn her over to save himself and his partner. But the problem is, he's grown too attached to her. So Timothy comes up with a desperate plan. He decides to try and erase Eve's memory, thinking that maybe if she forgets everything, including him, she'll be safe. Eve, though, isn't having it. She refuses to let him erase her memories because, for the first time, she feels like she's starting to understand what it means to be alive. She doesn't want to go back to being just a machine. And then, boom, the final showdown. Sindel's agents storm the house and it's chaos. Timothy is trying to protect Eve, his partner is yelling at him to stop, and Eve is stuck in the middle. There's this really emotional scene where Eve turns to Timothy and says, "I never asked to feel this way." And you can tell that Timothy's heart is breaking because deep down, he knows she's right. In the end, Eve makes a choice. She decides to turn herself in, but not before asking Timothy one final question. "Did you ever love me, or was I just your creation?" And Timothy, well, he can't answer. His silence says it all. Eve is taken away by Sindel, and Timothy is left standing there, watching her go, knowing that he'll never see her again. His partner leaves him, unable to forgive what's happened, and Timothy is left alone, haunted by what he's done. So that's the story of Maid Droid Origins. It's a roller coaster of emotions packed with drama, suspense, and some pretty deep questions about love, humanity, and artificial intelligence. If you're into movies that make you think, this one's definitely worth a watch. Plus the whole love triangle with an android twist? Yeah, it's wild. Alright guys, that's it for today's recap. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more movie breakdowns like this. Let me know in the comments what movie you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.